That makes me laugh every time I see it. Um, this video is a little different. I'm actually talking about a YouTuber, and it's not to try to get some sort of recognition for myself or anything. It's something that I just want to talk about because um, obviously we're talking about Michael Does Life, and I think he's the most unique person on YouTube I've ever seen, and I don't exactly know how to explain him. But a lot of people think he's a troll. But I wouldn't describe him that way exactly. What he does is very unique. He's I would call it almost performance art. I don't know. He see there's like different sides of him. You see, there's some live streams where he's walking around and he's talking, and you never quite know if what he's doing is real or not. And the thing about him is you know that there are things that aren't necessarily real, but they're all based on something real usually. And it's like it's kind of like Sam Hyde where there's a joke, but nobody's really in on it but him. So everybody thinks they know what's going on, but then as soon as you think you figure everything out, something will happen and you think, okay, well maybe not he's not doing exactly what I think he's doing. And even myself, I consider myself a fan of his. I like what he does, and he knows how to get to people and annoy them. And it's not a personality thing. He knows what to say to piss off fans of things, to get under their skin. And the thing is there will be these streams where he says, how toxic his viewers are. Not necessarily the real fans, but some people that come in and just give him crap. But he has to know that the content he makes is what brings those type of people, those trollish type videos. And you can't make content like that without expecting a certain type of people to show up. Um, there's a lot of other streamers that had toxic, you know, people watching, trying to get you to do stuff, trying to get you to react in a certain way. So he has to be aware of it. He's not a stupid person. But then he'll put live streams out and he'll talk about how he's basically depressed because he's addicted to streaming, but the people that show up are just the worst people in the world. And I will admit, if you watch the streams, there are people that come in there that are shit. They're shitty people. But the problem is it's hard to tell when what he says is truth. And I think that's the mystery that I love so much about his channel and why I like him so much is because sometimes I feel like I'm in on the joke. And then sometimes I can't help but be like, oh man, you are so wrong about what you're saying. But I feel like he knows he's wrong about what he's saying. And he's doing it on purpose. And I think that's the joke. But he's so good at what he's doing that sometimes even the people that feel like they know what's happening can't help themselves but like, oh no, you're doing this wrong, you're playing this wrong, and you know that that's what he wants, and you can't stop yourself. I think he's an expert at that, and there are clips on YouTube of him, where it seems like he's being kind of real, talking about things, and it seems like he wishes he could maybe be taken a little more serious. Maybe be a little better, not a better, but like a better well known person for talking about video games, but not so much the shit content. Not bad content. He doesn't make bad content. I mean the um the shitty comments and stuff like that. Because I feel like everything he says is kind of based on truth, except for a certain amount of things. If he's talking about a game and he's like, "Oh man, this is boring," it might be boring for the way he's playing it, but he might be playing it that way on purpose just to get under people's skin. The only time I kind of disagreed with him, and it worked, I took the bait, was Elden Ring. And he was walking around the overworld, kind of just running past enemies. And he's not really doing anything besides just running around the overworld. And he's like, oh man, this Elden snooze is boring. And it's like, yeah, it is if you don't do anything in the game. And I'm not really here to defend Elden Ring. That's not what I'm talking about. I like the game, but this video isn't me being like, this is why he's wrong about Elden Ring or anything like that. But I think what he's doing is he's purposely making games look bad that are good, and he'll also take games that are bad, and he doesn't have to try that hard at all to make them look bad because they're already bad. And basically, any game that comes out, he'll be like, hey, this game sucks. And if you do that enough, you're bound to be right? If every new game that seems popular comes out and you trash talk it and you say this is why it sucks because it's not new, it doesn't do anything new, you're eventually going to be right about that, okay? So it's like if you answer the C for every multiple choice question, you're bound to get some right, And every time I watch him, I'm trying to figure out what is happening. Like, what is happening? And for the most part, I think I understand it. But there are some times where he'll double down on a thing that I'm like, you have to know you're wrong about that. And the thing that gets me is he doesn't seem to care what people think about him. Because if you say some things that you know are wrong, and everybody knows you're wrong, and everybody's going to think you're an idiot because you do this or you say that, he has to not care about that, right? He has to not care about the image he puts out there and what people think of him as to be able to do that kind of content. But then there are videos where it does seem like he cares. It does seem like things get to him. And to be honest with you, he seems like a pretty cool guy. He seems like a pretty genuine dude that's really good at messing with people. I've seen a couple live streams where he was just having fun. There was one in particular where he was just kind of laying down, goofing off on his laptop, making his camera track his face and making faces and playing Warzone and stuff. And it was a legitimate good time. And he seemed like he was having fun. And that seemed like what he's really like. Like, he's a really fun guy. But when it comes to his content, it is mostly to provoke certain feelings from people. But the problem is as clever as he is and as talented as he is, that content only brings a toxic group of people in. And I know that no matter how much you are good at what you do, eventually that has to get to you, right? Like, it has to. So to say, is he fake? I don't think he's fake. But I don't think he's real either. I think he takes truth and exaggerates it. And he also takes things that aren't true and presents them as true. And is good at warping them into looking true to get a reaction, to get a response, to get a viewership. I just feel kind of bad that he's not viewed more and people don't, take him more serious and they just kind of trash talk him because I feel like of all the people on YouTube, he's a pretty cool guy and he doesn't deserve to be shit on so much, but at the same time, the content he makes brings that in, and it's almost like bringing it on yourself in a way. But he has to know that, right? And as much as he says he's unhappy with his community and his channel's not successful and stuff, it has to be. If I had people watching my channel as much as they watch his, I'd be stoked. I don't get any views. He gets, like, what, That one that I showed the clip from, 44,000 views. This one has 166,000. I would be absolutely stoked if my videos got that many views. Of course, it's not just about the views, though. It's about the interaction. And if the interaction with people suck, then that's what gets to you, I think. But he does have some diehard fans that I think they feel like they're in on the joke with him. And that's why they stick around. That's why I stick around. In general, I feel like I'm in on the joke. Usually, I feel like I'm watching the other people that aren't in on the joke be made fun of. But sometimes I feel like I'm the one being made fun of too, and I think that's the fun of his channel. Is it keeps you on your toes, and you don't know what to expect. Even though you know what to expect, you don't know what to expect. And I appreciate what he does, and I enjoy his channel because it's unique. It's not the same shit that everybody else does. And I legitimately, I get joy out of watching him. He does a lot, and that might not seem like he does a lot, but he does. And I don't know how to explain it. I wouldn't even know how to explain him to somebody that hasn't seen him before. But I know that there are people out there that appreciate what he does, and I appreciate what he does. I just I hope that other people would sometimes ease up a little bit, even though I think part of the shtick and the content is the men holding hands, bear, while he's trying to talk and do stuff, playing in the background. As much as that's annoying, if it wasn't there, it wouldn't be a Michael Does live stream. It wouldn't be, you know, what it is without it. But sometimes I wonder if he wishes he could get away with or away from that, and maybe be just a serious, video game personality where people take his opinions about games more serious and they don't think he's just trolling. I feel like the aggressive attitude toward the games is what brings the community in, and it probably is what he knows is happening. He's not stupid. He knows what's happening. But sometimes I think he plays it off like he doesn't get it, but he has to know what's happening, right? I don't know. This is why I like him, because I feel like this is performance art at its best, and I never know what to expect. But I hope if he really is in a bad place that he gets better, because I don't want to see anybody, you have depression, and it sucks going through stuff like that. And if he really is starting to regret in the things he does because of the people that it brings in, and if he's not in a good place, I hope that changes, because I don't want to see him, suffer. But if it is all a show and off camera he's happy, then I'm glad, because he deserves it. He seems like a really genuine good guy. Well, at least I think so. Could be a piece of shit for all I know, but I don't think so. I don't think so. I think it takes a certain person to be able to do what he does, and I don't think a terrible person can do what he's doing, because it doesn't seem genuine all the time. Like when he's being a shitty person, you can see his face. You can see the faces he makes, and it's like he's almost laughing at the situation because of how silly it is. I could be totally wrong about everything I'm saying. And if Michael, if you happen to watch this video for some reason, because you somehow stumbled across it, thanks for watching it. I may have been wrong about everything I said about you, but just know that I enjoy your content. And there's people that do, and you're unique, and I wish there were more unique things on YouTube besides the same young out stuff. You know what I mean? I don't know. I guess everybody brings something to the table, and there's something for everybody. But not everybody understands what they're seeing, which is what this show is about. You either get it or you don't, and even the people that get it probably don't quite get it. So that's about it. I don't think it's fake. I don't think it's real. I think it's somewhere in between. I wouldn't call him a troll, but I wouldn't call him anything. I think it's art. I think he has mastered the craft of getting in your head. So that's really all I gotta say. I hope you enjoy the video. And maybe go watch some Michael Does Life videos. Don't take them too serious. It's just for fun. And yeah, have a good one.